is sponsored by Rakuten. Hello everyone, welcome back to Royalty Soaps. My name's Katie Carson. I'm a soap artist. I make soap inspired by a lot of different things, and that's right. Today we are making a soap inspired by all of the fruit trees in Animal Crossing. Now, if you have played different versions of Animal Crossing throughout the year, there is one thing that stays the same. The fruit trees. They're so cute. They are in the very first Animal Crossing down to the most recent one, which is my favorite version, Animal Crossing's New Horizons. And in my personal Animal Crossing town that I named Fernwood, I have a little orchard that I'm very proud of, and the fruit trees give me life every single day. So I have to memorialize them in soap. And don't forget, while you're watching this video, look for the emoji because I'm giving away a Nintendo Switch and you need to keep a hold of that emoji to enter the giveaway. And if you want to know how to do that, here's the video where I talk about it. It will give you all the information about what we're doing, how to enter, etc. There is also going to be a little icon on Instagram that's like giveaway rules or like giveaway info or something so that you can see how we're doing it. It's a scavenger hunt. It's a treasure hunt. It's fun. I just thought it would be a fun idea, okay? I really did. So let's get to it and make those island fruit tree soaps. We begin this video, as we do every other video, with our lye water solution going into our bucket of oils here. If you're new, you've never seen one of my videos before, you're an Animal Crossing fan, and that's what made you click on this video, well, hey, hello. I do have a beginner soap making series where I go ahead and give you a shopping list for everything you will need to purchase the soap making tools to make your first 3 batches. The recipe I'm using today is down in the description box below. You will need a general knowledge of how to convert recipes from percentage to ounces or grams, depending on whichever one you like to use in whatever country you're in. I do have some articles listed in my beginner soap making series to help you do this. It is not something that I teach on this channel because there are other people who have covered this topic so much better than I ever could, and I would rather refer you guys to them. I did purposefully list my recipe in percentage form and not in ounce form. That way you can convert it to whatever size you need it based on the mold that you have, and also to keep the beginners from trying something more advanced. You will not be able to use that recipe if you don't have a decent amount of knowledge about soap making. It's to keep you guys safe out there. So let's go ahead and blend this all up. This soap recipe is fully emulsified by about 30 seconds, sometimes faster, sometimes as soon as 12 seconds, but it stays runny and workable for a really long time. I have sold tens of thousands of bars using this recipe. Lots of people in the soap community have enjoyed it, and it's yours for the taking. You may have noticed that I switched out my soap containers. I changed to a polypropylene plastic. Yeah, I'm looking on the back here. It's the number 5 recycling code, which is polypropylene. I had been using the super clear buckets for a couple of years because I thought it would really aid in how my videos looked, but they did get sort of scratchy over time, and so I don't generally recommend that. Let's talk about our fragrance today. So this is a blend of a few Nature's Garden fragrance oils. It is 1 part Peach Perfection, 1 part Fresh Pear, and 1 part Red Delicious Apples. So quite a few of the fruits you can find on the Animal Crossing games. So now let's go ahead and add our colors. I should probably start with one of the lighter colors first. This is a blend of True Yellow from TKB and Tennis Ball Breaker from Mad Micah's. This is a blend of Let Us Entertain You by Mad Micah's and Tennis Ball breaker. This is just Let Us Entertain You, so a little bit darker. This is Flotation Device from Mad Micah's, and some Trial by Fire. This is Nurture Soap. I still have yet to find a red that rivals it. Now, one thing I noticed when I added this fragrance oil in is that it riced pretty quick, which means that it sort of turned the soap that it hit a curdled texture, which means I'm gonna have to blend it for a while to get it to be smooth again. As far as color adjustments go, everything looks pretty good. The only thing I might do is desaturate this red a little bit. I want it to be a little more pinky, but other than that, everything's looking really good. Gonna go around the edge a little bit. It's getting a little gloopy, but for this particular design, it doesn't matter that much. I do need the colors to stay relatively separate, so having it be a little thicker is actually gonna work in my favor. We interrupt our regular programming to bring you a very enticing offer from our favorite sponsor, Rakuten. Now, Rakuten has been a longtime sponsor of Royalty Soaps, but I was using them longer than they were sponsoring us because I like to save money. I'm a small business owner, I am also a mom of two, and I shop online all the time. So basically, if you've never heard of Rakuten, they are the largest cashback website that partners with over 3,500 retailers. Just think about that number, 3,500. That's an insane amount of shops. We're talking Ulta, we're talking Target, we're talking anybody and everybody that matters. They partner with them to bring you cash back, coupons, promo codes, etc. You can use the browser extension or the app, that's how I do it, so that when I go to one of the websites that's partnered with them, a little drop-down menu comes down and is like, "Oi, would you like cash back?" And I click yes. Or you can just go to the Rakuten website and click on any of the shops there and it'll open up in a new tab, and same thing. So you can use the link in my description or the one that's listed here on screen to get a $30 sign-up bonus when you make a qualifying purchase. So basically the next thing that you're gonna buy online, you can just use that link below and then you get like instant $30 cash back if it's over a certain amount. It's just money going back into your pocket. It's incredible. And y'all know those holidays are sneaking up on us. I'm not gonna lie to you, I am already doing holiday shopping. Like, I am, because I am not about to get caught with those things stuck in the mail. And just in the past month, Rakuten has already put over $150 back in my pocket, okay? I cannot live without them. Use my link down in the description box below. Thank you so much to Rakuten for sponsoring today's video. And without further ado, let's continue our soap making. Here are my two molds from Brambleberry, and I will start with one of these greens. I'm just gonna pour one stripe, then I'm gonna go in with my orange. I'm gonna try to pierce that green stripe on the side. I'm gonna try to pour down the side for most of these, just because I think that will make the whole soap just look a little better. I don't know, this one might need to go down the middle. I'm basically just going to try to puncture as much color as I can, because that will give the most unique look to the batter by the time the soap is cut. I'm actually gonna pour two stripes of that red just because I think it'll help. Yeah, see, I'm able to keep those colors really separate, which is actually super helpful. I couldn't have asked for better as far as that's concerned. Just gonna add a big one of green right down the middle here. Same on this side. And we'll do all the colors over again. Okay, admittedly, this looks kind of messy, but I have faith that when we cut it tomorrow, it will look better than it does now. So I'm just gonna clean this up, smooth down the top a little bit. It almost looks like I had a little extra batter in this batch. And honestly, I did save the red for the top on purpose because our frosting is going to be green, like all of the trees on Animal Crossing. Kind of wipe this up a little bit and prepare our soap frosting, and then we'll start piping the top. Now, for this soap, I'm going to attempt something a little different. Whether or not it will work remains to be seen, but I'm going to put 2 giant dollops, just 2 on the very bottom. If you've seen the trees in Animal Crossing, New Horizons, and almost all the other ones, the trees don't change that much. It's like 3 giant gloops all smashed together. So basically, I have to get 2/3 of the piping on this first layer. So I'm trying to go based on height here and less on volume because, well, that's the only way I know how to do it. I'm kind of just trying to keep an eye on what it would look like if I only had 2 done at this point in time. It is possible I will overshoot or undershoot, but this is my first time attempting this, so here's to hoping I do it right. So far, I think we're doing pretty good, and I'm getting the piping to the edges of the soap, which was one of the main things I was concerned about, was that I wouldn't be able to angle it in such a way that it would reach the very edge of the bar, but also get to the middle. So I can't complain at this point in time. I feel like we're doing pretty good. And I do have 3 embeds to put on top of this. What was I doing? Was this overkill? Was it the right thing to do? I just don't know. Okay, so as far as the top goes, you're talking major dollops. Major dollops, which on this side, it looks right. Okay, maybe this is gonna be fine. I am a little nervous because my piping bag, I sure thought was gonna be fuller than this. Oh dear, we're already getting thin. Okay, all right. Well, I think most of them will be the same weight, but in the future, we may improve this. It's just extremely hard to judge when you're only doing 3 dollops on a soap. 6 is so much more manageable. Oh, we're gonna be scrimping. Oh no! Last bar. Okay, let me try to scrape all I can. This is where the paint scraper comes in very handy because look, I'll move these so you can see. You can place it down right here and you just push all that down. There is literally nothing as effective as a paint scraper for getting piping down. And if you're reusing piping bags, which I mean, you should, look at that. It's practically clean for you. Okay, back to the task at hand. Let's try to get, this is the type of thing Caleb always makes fun of me for. He's like, you always use too much and then there's not enough. Well, you know what, Caleb? I'm not perfect, okay? Okay, well, that's gonna have to do. It's a perfect no, but it will do. Let's talk about important things now. Glitter. This is a 1-to-1 ratio of gold stardust and emerald stardust from The Good Glitter. You can use my code for 15% off your first purchase. They have some amazing fall blends. And I am just going to sprinkle this all over the top. Now, in Animal Crossing, they also have something called a money tree. It has bells, which is the currency in Animal Crossing that grows on the money tree. You can make it by digging up the golden shiny spot that appears once a day on your island and planting up to 10,000 bells in there, and it will give you 3 money bags worth the equivalent of the one you planted. So you can make up to 30,000 bells planting a money tree, which is awesome. But I did not make a money tree. This was solely based on fruit trees on my island, which is called Fernwood. I have a little orchard, and in it, I have all the different types of fruit trees besides the coconuts, and I've left them on the beach. But my favorite looking fruits are the ones I've included today, which is the apple, and that is the indigenous tree on my island, and then the pear and the orange. So we will start by adding the orange. These are the Royalty Soap's signature soap gumball embeds, and they're colored in quite a few different things. Listen, Shelly is is a mastermind at creating embeds. She colored everything to be literally the exact same color as the game. So this goes on the very tippy top. I'm going to just barely press it in. This is going to let me know where each one of the bars is going to be cut, but I still want it to look super roundy on top, so we're barely pressing that in. I'm not really part of like the Animal Crossing community. There are so many amazing people that just make these islands that are just super beautiful and super aesthetic, and they have little names like a town core island or a spooky core island or fairy core island, all these different cores. Now, I don't know why we say core now instead of just saying it's a fairy theme, but I think the word core and theme are interchangeable. I go on Pinterest sometimes and I look up inspiration photos, but as far as being a content creator or someone who shares codes, that's not really my thing, and I don't really keep up with that. I also feel like I'm unduly influenced if I watch too much of that content. So I do my best to stick with my faves. I love Liz the Lass. She's so cute, but she's like the only Animal Crossing person I watch. She also just recently modded her Switch, which these people get so fancy nowadays. I literally didn't even know you could do that. Here are the pears. Look at the pears. Also, I added, just so if you can see, a little bit of apricot seed powder because the pears in the game have a little bit of texture on them that's a little bit brown, and I wanted to make sure I captured that. So I'm just gonna stick this right on the side straight up, and it does look like, because of the way I piped, it is going to be fully visible from all sides, which is really what I wanted. I wanted this to be a very 3D looking soap, and it did create the shape I wanted, which is so good. I'm really glad that idea worked because I was not exactly sure about it. I think modding a Switch is like jailbreaking a phone, where you like add new firmware onto it, I believe. I'm not sure how all that works, so don't quote me, but essentially they're able to make substitutes for certain things in the game. Like if you're growing a tomato plant, well, with a jailbroken Switch, you can sub that out and grow a strawberry instead. And now they're able to place things in the water, etc., etc. Like it gets crazy what people do to customize this thing. And I do think it's something that was generally brought about because Nintendo will not add any more updates to the game. They did have a DLC they released, I think in 2020, but then they kind of told everyone that that was the last thing they were adding, was the 2.0 update. So all of the fans that love the game, they know there's another Animal Crossing that's coming out, but they really like New Horizons, so they're just making their own additions to it, which is honestly so creative. I'm very impressed with all the people that do stuff like that, but I'm just a normal person. I don't even play it every day. I probably play it every third day or so. Okay, and finally it is time to add the apples. So these are our little apples that are so cute. We are just going to stick them right in the side here. I do have to make sure that these are pushed in at least a little bit because they're a little bigger than both of the other embeds, so I really need them safe from the chopper. And hopefully I can face the apple side up whenever I'm cutting to save it from being mashed by any of our cutters here. But obviously all of the Animal Crossing fruit trees just have one type of fruit on them, but I wanted to go overboard and I couldn't pick just one. Also, admittedly, the apples in New Horizons have a little bit of yellow at the bottom of them, but I told Shelly not to worry about that because she already had such an embed heavy month. She was making literally thousands of embeds. I was like, don't worry about the yellow, okay? The fans, the fans will forgive you. Doing two-toned tiny soap embeds is no joke, and it literally can add hours to project time, so we're just gonna call it good. Now, because I have that glitter on the top, I am not going to spritz the top with rubbing alcohol. There is no need to take that risk and have that biodegradable glitter start melting on me, man. one, I'm just gonna leave it as is. I made sure that my frosting was super thick. We're not gonna get any soda ash. My recipe typically doesn't ash anyway, so it's not a big deal. I'll add this last embed in, and our island fruit trees are done. Ah, look at them. They're so cute. Is this gonna be my favorite soap of the month? I don't know. Probably. Okay, we'll be back in 18 to 24 hours. That'll allow the soap time to set up and get hard and for this green to change color just a little bit. And then we will slice into the bars and take a look at the inside after this quick commercial break. Okay, let us peel this out of the mold. That's right, I'll show it to you today. You guys have begged. I love to oblige you when I can. So, just get my little finger in here. It's a little sticky, admittedly. It is a little sticky, but that is not going to stop us. It may be that I have to unmold it and then let it sit in a tray for like, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes or so, but I'm not deterred. Too sticky to cut? I don't think so. I think I can still cut it. Famous last words. Okay, so just like I said yesterday, we're gonna do this apples facing up. I'm also already just loving this. Those colors are so good. Might have to potentially add a little bit more of that Let Us Entertain You. It looks like that might be a little dull. We might have to double the amount that I put in there. The fact that this is so soft is going to work in my favor because ordinarily this would be a very difficult cut because of the embeds. But because I'm not having to press very hard, I really need to get a cutter from Good Speed that cuts higher topped soaps because my soaps have just gotten taller. Okay, let's hope this is okay. It is. Look at the inside. It's perfect. Yep. I do need to darken up that green, but the other colors are fantastic. The only other thing I might change is this red. I want it to be a little lighter, but look at the top. It does look like one of those trees. You can see the 3 individual dollops, the 3 individual fruits on top. Overall, like literally not sorry about it at all. Let's see that design and a couple more bars. It's so good. I'm so obsessed. Also, the smell, man, what a good one. Like, imagine fruit salad. That's kind of the fragrance we've got going on here. My biggest fear is that someone would potentially get one of my soaps and be underwhelmed by the pigmentation, because that's something that for me as a soap connoisseur as well as a soap creator is something I don't love. Whenever I am personally buying a soap from another creator, I always look for color vibrancy. A lot of people just don't use enough. It's not that they are using bad colorants, it's simply that they're not adding enough in, and so they're not getting the shade that they were trying to go for when making their design. It happens a lot with blues and with greens, honestly. It just looks a little funny, or it can. Now, this is personal. Let me just put a disclaimer. Obviously, this is personal preference, okay? There's not one way to do it, but for me personally, when I see the rich pigmentation of this green right here, the red, even the yellow, it just makes this green and honestly a little bit of this green look dull by comparison. So I will probably beef up the pigmentation here and the pigmentation down here so that they match the other colors. Pretty great, right? I can promise you, the smell is chef's kiss. You're gonna love it. You can get the soap on November 5th with the rest of the Creature Comforts collection inspired by Animal Crossing: New Horizons and Over the Garden Wall. It is my favorite collection of the entire year. I worked so hard on it. I went out of my way to make custom silicone molds for it. It just gives me life. Take note of the emoji, write it down somewhere on your phone or something, and do something fun for yourself today. Go eat a little apple snack. Dip it in some peanut butter if you're not allergic. Please don't do it if you're allergic. Maybe you want to go and support one of the small businesses I have listed down in the description box. Do you see all of these adorable Animal Crossing and Over the Garden Wall like little items behind me? Well, you can buy all of them. I'll link them all down below. Shop small. And I will see you guys in the next video. So until then, bye for now. Yeah.